Jack Harper stood distinctly out of place among the towering figures of the recruiting line, his average human height barely reaching the shoulders of the nearest Zentari recruit. The air was heavy with the musky scent of diverse alien species and the buzz of alien dialects, each participant eyeing the others, sizing up potential allies and rivals in the Galactic Coalition's military integration program. The planet Kritolis, with its sprawling military complexes and brutal training environments, was the Coalition's chosen ground for turning raw recruits into elite soldiers. As Jack adjusted his standard-issue gear, a ripple of laughter broke out behind him. He turned to see a group of Ugorian soldiers whispering and sneering in his direction. At the center was General Vrax, a massive Ugorian known for his disdain for weaker species. His four eyes settled on Jack with a dismissive glint. "Is this a mistake, or has the Coalition started recruiting children now?" Vrax boomed, his voice carrying over the crowd, igniting another wave of chuckles. His translator unit garbled the words slightly, but the mockery in his tone needed no translation. Jack felt his cheeks redden, but he held the general's gaze. "I'm here to serve, just like everyone else, sir," he responded, his voice steady despite the stares. Vrax sauntered over, his heavy steps thudding on the metallic floor. Towering over Jack, he sneered. "Serve? A light breeze would knock you over, human." Turning to the onlookers, he added, "Let's see if he survives the first week." The crowd's laughter followed Jack as he moved towards the barracks, the weight of expectation pressing down on him. Yet, beneath the embarrassment and anger, a fire of determination was kindling. He wasn't just here to prove his own worth. He carried the reputation of humanity on his shoulders. That evening, as the recruits gathered in the mess hall, Jack kept to himself, observing the alliances forming around him. The Ugorians stuck together, as did the Zentari and other species, each group echoing their leader's prejudices and preferences. Jack ate quickly, his mind replaying the general's words and the laughter of the crowd. Later, in the dim light of the barracks, Jack lay awake on his bunk, staring at the ceiling. He thought of Earth, of the family and friends who supported his decision to join the Coalition forces. They believed in the importance of humanity's role in the galaxy, a belief that Jack intended to uphold. As sleep finally claimed him, Jack's resolve solidified. He would face the training, endure the mockery, and whatever else they threw at him. He wasn't just fighting for a place in the Coalition. He was fighting for humanity's place in the cosmos. The general's laughter would not be the echo that defined his journey. Instead, he would carve out respect for himself and his species, one grueling day at a time. Dawn broke over the training grounds of Kritolis, casting long shadows on the obstacle course that would serve as today's proving ground. Jack Harper stood among his fellow recruits, his body tense with anticipation. Today's exercise was notorious for its difficulty, a brutal mix of physical challenges and mental puzzles meant to push recruits to their limits. General Vrax's mocking voice from the previous day echoed in Jack's mind as he surveyed the course. High walls, deep trenches filled with water, and complex rope structures were just the beginning. The final section featured a puzzle that required quick thinking and adaptability, traits that humans, Jack believed, possessed in abundance. As the recruits lined up at the starting point, Vrax appeared, his imposing figure silhouetting against the rising sun. "Today we see what you're made of," he announced, his gaze lingering on Jack with a smirk. "Maybe our human friend here will surprise us." The laughter that followed was less derisive than the day before, curiosity replacing some of the scorn. When the whistle blew, Jack sprang into action. His size, smaller than most of his competitors, proved an advantage in agility. He maneuvered through the first set of obstacles with surprising speed, his previous training on Earth giving him an edge in physical dexterity. Murmurs of surprise rippled through the onlookers as he took an early lead. The water trenches proved more challenging, the cold liquid sapping his strength. Bigger recruits passed him, their larger limbs and adapted physiologies better suited to the task. Jack's teeth chattered as he emerged from the water, but his determination did not wane. He pressed on, his mind focused. Reaching the rope section, Jack's earlier lead helped him avoid the bottleneck that had formed. He climbed with precision, his hands and feet finding holds that seemed made for him. As he reached the top, he allowed himself a brief glance back. Below, a tangle of limbs and frustrated shouts showed that size was not everything. The final challenge was a puzzle that involved rearranging power nodes to activate a door mechanism. Here, Jack's human ingenuity came to the forefront. He studied the nodes, quickly devising a strategy based on similar puzzles he had solved during his training back home. With a few swift movements, he rearranged the nodes, and the door slid open with a satisfying hiss. Jack dashed through, crossing the finish line with a handful of others close behind. He was panting, his sides aching, but his spirit soared with the realization of what he had achieved. General Vrax approached, his expression unreadable. The crowd was silent now, the mockery replaced by a grudging respect. "Not bad, human," Vrax conceded, his voice loud enough for all to hear. "Not bad at all." As Jack caught his breath, fellow recruits clapped him on the back, a few even offering nods of respect. He had not only completed the course, but had done so in a way that challenged the preconceptions of many. That night, as Jack returned to the barracks, the atmosphere had shifted. No longer an outsider, he was now a contender, one step closer to earning his place among the stars. The air in the briefing room was thick with anticipation as Jack Harper and his squad received their first mission orders. They were to secure a critical supply route on the planet Tarkon 5, a world known for its volatile environment and hostile local insurgents. The mission was crucial. The supply route was a lifeline for the ongoing operations in this sector of the galaxy. General Vrax, leading the briefing, detailed the objectives with a stern voice. "This is not a training exercise. You'll be facing real danger, and the enemy will not hesitate to exploit any weakness." His gaze lingered on Jack momentarily, hinting at the challenge laid before him. Jack met his stare, nodding with determined resolve. The squad boarded the transport ship, a mixture of excitement and nerves palpable in the cramped space. Jack, now somewhat accepted by his peers, felt the weight of expectation on his shoulders. As they approached Tarkon 5, the planet loomed large before them, its surface a swirling mass of storm clouds and rugged terrain. Upon landing, the squad moved quickly. The environment was as harsh as briefed. Thick, acidic rain fell sporadically, burning any exposed skin, and the ground was treacherous and uneven. Jack's human adaptability came to the forefront again. He navigated the challenging terrain with agility, helping his squadmates where he could. As they neared the supply route, an ambush sprung. Insurgents, hidden among the rocky outcrops, opened fire. Chaos erupted as the squad scrambled for cover. Jack's training kicked in. He returned fire, his shots calculated and precise. Amid the firefight, he noticed one of his squadmates, a young Thelian named Chorus, hit and unable to move to safety. Without hesitation, Jack covered the distance to Chorus under heavy fire. Utilizing his basic medical training, a unique requirement for human soldiers, he quickly applied a coagulant to stop the bleeding and dragged Chorus to cover. His actions saved the Thelian's life and earned him silent nods of respect from the others, including those who had doubted his capabilities. With Jack's help, the squad regrouped and repelled the ambush. They secured the supply route, setting up defensive positions until reinforcements arrived. As they waited, the squad's commander, Captain Liraz, approached Jack. "Harper, your actions today have shown great courage and skill," Liraz said, his voice carrying a tone of genuine respect. "You've saved a life and contributed significantly to our mission's success. Well done." The ride back to base was markedly different from the outbound journey. The atmosphere was lighter. Camaraderie had begun to replace uncertainty. Jack's bravery and quick thinking had broken down many of the barriers between him and the rest of the squad. Back at base, as they debriefed, General Vrax was there, listening intently to the report. When it was over, he fixed his gaze on Jack. "Harper," he began, his voice neutral but his eyes sharp. "You've demonstrated the qualities we need in this force. Keep it up." It was not an apology nor praise, but in Vrax's tone, it was clear recognition. That night, as Jack lay in his bunk reflecting on the day, he felt a shift in his own perception of what was possible. Not only had he proven himself capable, but he had also begun to change how others saw him and, perhaps, how they viewed all humans. In the months that followed, Jack Harper's reputation among the Coalition forces grew. Word of his bravery and quick thinking on Tarkon 5 spread, and he was soon selected for more complex and dangerous missions. Each success bolstered his standing, and Jack found himself climbing the ranks faster than any human before him. During a briefing for a high-risk operation on the contested world of Zephoria, General Vrax pointed out Jack's unique contributions. "Harper has shown a distinct knack for adaptive tactics," Vrax stated, his voice grudgingly respectful. "He will lead Alpha Team." The room was filled with nods of approval. The skepticism that once shadowed Jack's presence had largely dissipated. Jack's Alpha Team was a blend of species, each member bringing their strengths to the unit. But it was Jack's leadership that bound them. He employed a mix of human intuition and learned alien strategies, creating a dynamic approach to warfare that often left their adversaries reeling. On Zephoria, Jack's team was tasked with capturing a critical communications relay heavily guarded by enemy forces. The operation required stealth, coordination, and a bit of human ingenuity. Jack devised a plan that utilized a diversion created by a secondary unit, while his team infiltrated the enemy defenses using cloaking tech adapted from the outpost technologies. The mission was a success, with minimal casualties on their side and a major communications hub secured. Celebrations were muted as the team acknowledged the cost, but Jack's ability to lead effectively under pressure was clear. His rise through the ranks was not without its challenges. Some in the higher echelons of command were uneasy about a human ascending so quickly, fearing the implications of a non-native species gaining significant influence. Whispers of concern reached Jack, but they only fueled his resolve to be better, to prove that humanity had much to offer the coalition. General Vrax, once a skeptic, now frequently consulted Jack on tactical matters, viewing him as a valuable asset. This shift was symbolic of the broader change in perceptions towards humans within the coalition forces. One evening, as Jack reviewed mission logs in his quarters, Captain Liraz visited him. "You're making quite an impression, Harper," Liraz commented, a smirk playing on his lips. "Keep this up, and you might just change the way this old galaxy operates." Jack smiled, but his thoughts were heavy. "I just want to make sure we all get out of this alive, and maybe show that humans have something worth contributing." Liraz clapped him on the shoulder. "You're doing more than that, Jack. You're paving the way for future generations, human and otherwise." As Jack lay down to sleep that night, he couldn't help but feel the weight of his responsibilities. He wasn't just a soldier anymore. He was a symbol of human potential, a beacon for what could be achieved when diverse beings worked together. The road ahead was fraught with dangers, but Jack Harper was ready to meet them head-on. The planet Argus IV, with its jagged terrain and sporadic geothermal eruptions, was not a welcoming place. It was here that Jack Harper and his Alpha team were deployed to disrupt an enemy supply chain crucial for the opposition's war efforts. The stakes were high. Success would mean a significant advantage in the ongoing conflict. As Jack led his team through the rocky gorges, the quiet tension was palpable. Each member was alert, their senses tuned to the alien environment. Jack, now accustomed to leading, moved with a calm assurance that inspired confidence in his team. Without warning, the ground shook violently. A planned detonation, not the planet's natural activity. It was an ambush. Blasts echoed through the gorge as enemy fighters appeared from hidden positions, their weapons trained on Jack's team. "Cover!" Jack yelled, diving into a shallow ditch. His team scattered, finding whatever protection the rough terrain offered. Jack quickly assessed the situation. They were outgunned and poorly positioned. He needed a plan. Remembering the geothermal activity of Argus IV, Jack recalled the thermal scans they had reviewed before the mission. "Vera, Krell, on me!" he shouted to two of his teammates, experts in explosives and engineering, respectively. "We're going to use the geysers." Under heavy fire, Jack and his team crawled to a nearby geothermal vent. Using their portable scanners, they timed the eruptions and set charges to artificially trigger the geyser ahead of schedule. The plan was risky, but it was their best shot. As enemy troops advanced, Jack counted down and detonated the explosives. A massive geyser of superheated steam erupted directly beneath the enemy squad, causing chaos and confusion. Seizing the moment, Jack led a counterattack. His team moved with precision, using the steam and rocky debris as cover. The ambushers, caught off guard by the ingenious use of the planet's geothermal features, faltered. Jack's team pushed forward, steadily retaking ground and incapacitating the enemy. By the time the steam cleared, Alpha Team had turned the tables. The ambushers were now the ones in disarray. In the aftermath of the skirmish, as they secured the area, Jack checked on his team members. Each was accounted for, with only minor injuries. The relief was visible on their faces. Jack's quick thinking had saved lives. General Vrax arrived as they were assessing the captured enemy equipment. Seeing the results of the ambush-turned victory, he approached Jack. His expression was unreadable, but his voice betrayed a hint of admiration. "Innovative use of the environment, Harper. You've turned a potential disaster into a victory." Jack nodded, his face smeared with dirt and sweat. "We make use of what we have, sir. That's something humans are good at." As they debriefed later, the mood was buoyant. Jack's unconventional tactics had not only secured the supply route, but had also proven yet again the value of human ingenuity in the Coalition's efforts. For Jack, each mission was more than just a battle. It was a chance to show that humanity was not just surviving in the galaxy, they were thriving and contributing to its future. After the successful mission on Argus IV, word of Jack Harper's innovative leadership and tactical prowess spread through the ranks of the Coalition forces. The High Command, intrigued by the reports of a human making significant strides in what was predominantly an alien operation, summoned Jack to the headquarters on the Central Nexus Station. As Jack walked through the corridors of the massive station, flanked by representatives of different species, he felt the weight of the moment. This was more than a personal achievement. It was a testament to what humans could offer to the galaxy at large. Upon entering the Grand Assembly Hall, Jack found himself before the Coalition's top military leaders, an array of species from across the galaxy, each with their own distinguished service records. At the head of the room stood General Vrax, who introduced Jack with an unexpected tone of respect. "This is Captain Jack Harper, whose actions have not only saved countless lives, but have also shifted the tide of battles in our favor." The assembly listened intently as Jack recounted the details of the Argus IV mission, emphasizing the collaborative effort of his team and the strategic use of the environment. He presented his case not just as a recounting of events, but as a demonstration of human ingenuity and adaptability, traits that could greatly benefit the Coalition. After his presentation, a senior council member, a Targassian admiral known for her strategic acumen, stood. "Captain Harper, your record is impressive. It is clear that humanity brings a unique perspective that is invaluable to our operations. We are considering expanding the role of humans within our strategic units." The room erupted in murmurs. Some leaders were skeptical, but many were nodding in agreement, swayed by the evidence of Jack's success. The meeting concluded with the council announcing they would deliberate further, but the mood was unmistakably positive. Jack was escorted back to his quarters by General Vrax, who seemed more reflective than usual. "Harper, I must admit, I had my doubts about integrating humans into our forces, but you've proven me wrong. You're not just fighting for your place here, you're leading the way for your kind." The words, coming from Vrax, meant more to Jack than any formal commendation. He realized that his journey had altered not only his own destiny, but potentially the destiny of all humanity within the galaxy. Back on the Redemption, his team welcomed him with cheers and congratulations. They celebrated not just Jack's recognition, but the broader acceptance and trust they were earning as humans in a vast interstellar coalition. That night, as Jack looked out at the stars from his cabin, he felt a deep sense of pride and purpose. His achievements were helping to carve out a place for humanity in the cosmic community, ensuring that the contributions of his planet would not be overlooked, but instead valued and sought after. The recognition by the Coalition's High Command was a significant milestone, but Jack knew the journey didn't end here. There were more challenges ahead, and he was ready to meet them head-on, with his team by his side. Following his recognition by the Coalition's High Command, Captain Jack Harper was assigned to lead a critical operation, lifting the siege of Veridan III, a key strategic planet under brutal assault by enemy forces. The planet's fall would mean a significant shift in power, potentially tipping the balance of the ongoing galactic conflict. It was a heavy responsibility, but Jack felt ready to take it on. Veridan III was besieged for weeks, its defenses crumbling under the relentless attack. The planet's atmosphere had turned toxic with warfare, complicating any relief efforts. Jack's plan was not only to break the siege, but also to ensure the planet could defend itself in the future. As the Redemption and its fleet approached Veridan III, Jack briefed his diverse team of specialists. "This isn't just about firepower," he explained. "We need to be smart, use our strengths, and protect the civilians at all costs. We're not only here to fight, we're here to save." The operation commenced at dawn. Jack's fleet emerged from hyperspace on the dark side of Veridan III, using the planet's own shadow as cover. They quickly took positions, launching a series of coordinated strikes against the besiegers' command centers. Jack directed the operations from the bridge of the Redemption, his calm demeanor instilling confidence in his crew. Ground troops, led by Jack's trusted commanders, infiltrated the planet's surface, engaging enemy forces and working to evacuate civilians from the combat zones. Jack watched the battle unfold, making real-time decisions and adjusting tactics as needed. The combat was intense, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. However, Jack's strategies began to turn the tide, slowly breaking the enemy's hold. Meanwhile, in space, the Redemption and its supporting ships engaged the enemy fleet, using advanced human-design maneuvers that disrupted the attackers' formations. Jack's use of human unpredictability and adaptability in space combat was proving to be a game-changer. As the battle reached its climax, Jack ordered a daring maneuver. His ships formed a tight blockade around the planet, providing cover as massive transports landed to deliver supplies and reinforcements. Under this protection, the planet's defenders launched a fierce counteroffensive, bolstered by the newly arrived support. After hours of relentless fighting, the enemy's resolve finally broke. Their command structure in disarray, they began to retreat. Jack's operation had not only lifted the siege, but it also delivered a significant blow to the enemy's morale and strategic positioning. In the aftermath, as they assessed the damage and began relief operations, the people of Veridan III hailed Jack and his team as heroes. The local leaders, grateful for the liberation, pledged their support to the coalition, strengthening the bonds between their world and the galactic forces. General Vrax, once a skeptic of Jack's abilities, personally commended him in a secure communication. "Captain Harper, your leadership at Veridan III has proven pivotal. You have not only saved a world, but have inspired many within our ranks. Well done." As celebrations began among the troops, Jack felt a profound sense of accomplishment. This victory was not just about military success, it was about defending the values and freedoms the coalition stood for. As he joined his crew in the celebrations, Jack knew that the challenges ahead would be daunting, but with his team and his tactics, they were ready for whatever the galaxy threw at them. In the aftermath of the successful mission on Veridan III, Captain Jack Harper's name became synonymous with hope and tactical brilliance across the coalition. His decisive victory not only liberated the planet, but also bolstered the morale of the entire coalition, proving that unity and strategic innovation could prevail against formidable odds. The coalition's high command called a grand assembly to celebrate the recent string of victories, particularly the triumph at Veridan III. Jack, invited to speak at the event, stood before the galaxy's most influential leaders and countless spectators from various worlds, all united in their respect and admiration for what he had accomplished. As Jack approached the podium, the crowd fell silent in anticipation. He looked out over the sea of faces, alien and human alike, all waiting to hear his words. "This victory," Jack began, his voice resonant, "is not mine alone. It belongs to every soldier who stood their ground at Veridan III, to every pilot who flew through fire, and to every strategist who believed that together we could make a difference. Most importantly, it underscores the strength we have in our diversity." He continued, speaking not just about the tactics or the battles, but about the future. "We stand at a crossroads in our galaxy's history," Jack stated. "We can choose to be defined by our conflicts, or we can forge a path defined by our unity and our willingness to embrace the strengths of every species." General Vrax, present at the assembly, joined Jack on stage as the applause erupted. In a rare public display of camaraderie, Vrax placed a hand on Jack's shoulder. "Captain Harper has shown us the power of human ingenuity and courage. Let us take this lesson to heart and move forward as a united coalition, stronger and more resilient than ever." The ceremony concluded with the awarding of medals and commendations, but for Jack, the real reward was the acknowledgement of humanity's place as a vital member of the coalition. He had not only secured a victory on the battlefield, but had also won a significant diplomatic triumph for humans throughout the galaxy. After the celebrations, Jack returned to the Redemption, where his crew awaited him. Together, they watched as news feeds broadcasted the day's events, highlighting the unity and collaborative spirit of the coalition forces. The crew's pride in their captain was palpable, their cheers filling the room. Jack took a moment to reflect on his journey, from being mocked and underestimated to becoming a celebrated leader. He realized that his story was a testament to the potential for change, for breaking down prejudices and building new bridges. As he prepared for the journey back to human-controlled space, Jack felt a profound connection to his crew and to the wider galaxy. He knew challenges lay ahead, but he also knew that his experiences had changed the course of human history in the cosmos. Standing on the bridge of the Redemption, Jack looked out into the stars, feeling a sense of boundless possibility. Humanity had not only found its place among the stars, but had also shown that they could lead the way to a brighter future. As the ship set course for their next mission, Jack felt ready for whatever new adventures awaited, confident in the knowledge that humanity would continue to play a crucial role in shaping the galaxy.